Hey YouTubers, very, very cold day today. We're down almost single digits. I just want to do a bass talk with you. I was tried to do a video one before, but I've noticed I messed up some notes on the fret, which I know better because I know the fretboard very well. But when you're talking and trying to show people stuff, you can accidentally, not on purpose, but accidentally call out something wrong or show something different. And like I could say this was F, and that's not F. It's on the fifth string, top string, thickest string. That third fret is D. But I mean, what I'm trying to say is when you're talking, trying to explain, it's easy to mess up. So I made a few mess ups, so I deleted the video, so I'm going to redo it. What I was trying to talk about in that video was about your musicianship, whatever you're going to play, the bass, the guitar, the keyboard, the sax, the drums, the trumpets, whatever it may be. We need three principles in our life that will help make us a better musician, or you can just do one or two of them or just one of them. It's your choice what you would decide to do. First, most important thing is ear training. Listening to records, cassettes, CDs, or DVDs, YouTube over and over. Get you a couple of old songs, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Go back to the old stuff, Hank Williams Sr., and before that, where they're only dealing with sometimes one chord, note, sometimes two chords, two notes, and most of the time three chords, three notes. And what I mean by notes is, or a chord, it would be a note for the bass guitar player, because the bass can play chords, but they don't usually. The guitar plays chords all the time because they got to set up a special fingering for the D and a special fingering for the G, or whatever that would be. I don't know how to play the guitar. So they play chords. They can play notes too. A note is one single note played at one time. A chord is three or more played at the same time as a chord, okay? So a note is a single note, like just hitting D, and that's all you hit. A D chord would contain several different notes to be played all at one time to make up a D chord. That would be for like keyboards, pianos, guitars, okay? And like I say, the bass can play chords, and I think chords are really cool on the bass, but you got to do it, you got to be discreet about it. You don't just play chords all the time, because you don't want to walk all over everybody else in the band. So the bass player has to be careful about what he or she plays on the bass, as far as chords and going into grooves and going all crazy and riffs and runs. You just kind of got to, and it's true for the guitar player and the keyboard player and all the rest of the musicians too. You got to learn to stay in your zone, in your space. Because when you start going out of your space, you're starting to walk into other people's territory, like the keyboard player, the guitar player, the saxophonist, the sax player, or whatever it may be, the drummer. Then you're walking in his space, and then it gets a little confusing after that. But that's all I'm going to say. But the three important things, well, that's one of them, so we'll say it's four, is learning to stay in your space as a musician, whether it be bass, keyboard, piano, guitar, sax, whatever. Learn to stay in your space and do what you're supposed to do to make out the song, to help the song get the feel. And that's what it's about. You know, you play for the music, and that's what you play for. And, excuse me. But what I was going to say was, you know, we'll say there's four, not three, but four now. If I keep talking, it's going to go to 5 or 6. But anyway, ear training, like I said, grab YouTube, get you about 4 songs so you don't get bored with one song. Play those 4 songs, but work on one song for a while. And then out of the 4 songs you got picked, work on one for a while, for a pretty good while, until you get it figured out. You know, make one note. Let me turn it up. Make one note until you can hear that note change in that song. Then figure out where the song went to next. Once you do that, you know, you keep playing that same song over and over and over and over. You know, you figure out what key it's in. Then you figure out whether it's a major or minor key. Once you figure those 2 things out, then you can start listening to the song. And then, you know, for 90-some% of the time, if they tell you a song is going to be in A major, the song's pretty much going to start out in the key of A. That's not 100% guarantee, but that's almost all the time. So if they tell you a song is in A major, or you figure out the song is in A major on YouTube on a song you're practicing with, hit that A. You can if you can tell it's in or out, be listening to it. Hit it one time, just enough to keep it to where you can hear it. Then when you hear that note don't sound right no more, then start going through your scale to try to find out where that note went. And just keep doing that and doing that with that song. And that's why, this is why I say, get back to the old stuff, the 40s, the 50s, 60s, and 70s, where you've only got 1 note or 2 notes or 3 notes at the most to deal with at that time. That way you're not going all through trying to find the note, okay? Because if you do that, you're never gonna be able to hear it. Because you need to be able to hear that note, how it sounds, the note you're hitting, how it sounds against the music coming out of your amp, to make sure it sounds correct, okay? And if you can't do that, if you can't hear that, keep practicing, because nobody, I mean, 1 out of 1,000,000 people's born with perfect ear, that something can hit in the air and they'll say, oh, that's an A flat, and it be exactly right. Just they can hear it and they know what it is. Very, 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 very few people have perfect ear. I mean, very few. There is a few out there that do have it, but I would dare to step out on a limb to say that they have gotten out and played, like maybe they growed up and their family played music and they had a lot of help and they gained the ear for music, because gaining the ear for music is when, you know, you play with YouTube for so long, you know, records, CDs, tapes, DVDs, YouTube. When you play with them for so long, for a year or so, you know, you start hearing, well, that's a G. There's a G. That's what that is, a G. Because you hear it, you know what it sounds like. And that's the best meat that you can get, is getting and playing with people. You know, you can only learn, like in my music room right here, I can only go so far in my music room, okay? I can only learn so much in my music room. Don't get me wrong. You need to study. You need to dig in and do the work. I am saying that. You need to do that. But, I mean, the bigger step is to get out with actual people, other people, and start playing with them. Get your butt kicked a few times, you know, for a while, trying to play with them, you know, where you ain't got nothing but your bass and your amp, and they're playing, and, you know, you just try to figure out what they're doing by listening to what they're doing. Get your butt kicked. Man, there's groups out there, there's bands out there that try to help people all the time get an ear for music. They don't care. Some of them do, but some of them don't. But there's a lot of them out there. And some of them's pretty well-known bands. They may not let you play with them on stage, but they'll let you come and practice with them sometimes. You just got who you know and how you ask and, you know, who you are. But the ear training, so that's enough on the ear training. But I think that's a very key, crucial part. Probably the most important part is ear training. Your second part is your theory. Your theory pertains to your fretboard, or your keyboard, or your saxophone notes, or your guitar fretboard. There, right there, is where the theory lays. And what that theory does is shows you how all this works together. You know, what works, what goes together, what don't go together, what can go together, what can do this and what can do that. That's what theory leads into, okay? So, you know, you need to learn your fretboard. If you want to play the bass, or you want to play the guitar, or the saxophone, or the keyboard, or the piano, you need to learn that keyboard, that fretboard. You need to learn it. And I'm talking about learning it. I'm talking about learning every note from fret 1 all the way down to the very last fret. You need to know what every one of these notes are on every string, all the way up, every note. You need to get to the point that you can look at it, you know, open B, this is on the thick B string up here. B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. See, B. Alright, here's a B. Here's a B. So listen. All them were B's. Okay, and you got a B right here. And you got a B right here. All those was B's, you know? So, I mean, you just need to know your fretboard. That when they come up and they tell you, in this song, we'd like for you to play these 4 notes through the song. You know, so they say B, C sharp, E, and B again. Okay? So they come up and tell you that, and you know, you got to know where they're at without having to sit there and somebody tell you, or get out a piece of paper and look at it to figure out, you know, where you need to be. You just need to be able, and you might have to think just a second, but you need to be able to figure it out. There's nothing wrong with having to think about something for a second. Nothing wrong with that. But you need to be able to figure it out pretty quick. Okay? And that'd be the same way on the keyboard, the same way on the piano, the guitar fretboard, the bass fretboard. Learn your instrument, and that comes with theory. Okay? The third one is music. I think music is a wise choice, learning to read. But I will say you need to learn by ear also, because you don't want to be stuck to your music stand and somebody pull the paper away. You're playing, looking at your music, and your paper falls off the music. Your paper falls off the music stand. You're playing. Oh gosh. And the whole group is continue playing, and you're sitting here and you're picking your paper up off the music stand. You're setting your paper back up on your music stand. Now where are they at? Where are they at? Where'd they go? Listen. Ah, there they are. Okay. Music is important. It is. And I'm not knocking anything against music. I'm just saying you need to be able to play by ear too. Okay? That's all I'm saying. And but like I say, and the fourth one is, I mean, music. The third one, music. Music will help you understand what's going on right here. Okay? It will help you understand that. Okay? And the fourth one is what I said at the very first, staying in your own space. Don't get in somebody else's space. What I'm talking about is what the keyboard player is doing, or the piano player, the guitar, the drummer, or the saxophonist. Don't get in their space. Do what you do. Do what you need to do to make the song sound good, but don't walk all over somebody else trying to make yourself sound good. They probably wouldn't keep you in a band too long doing that and being a good person. Okay? But what I was just saying though is just remember those things. Think about those things. There's plenty of stuff on Facebook. I mean, not Facebook, I'm sorry, but YouTube that will help you, you know, get you pointed in the right direction. The best thing to do is find you a good teacher in your local area, or do one YouTube course, like with one person. You know, pick you out who you think you might like. There's several of them. There's a bunch of them that offer courses you can pay for, that you can pay and you can take their course. You can do that. Or you can go to just find you a really good teacher in your area, or somebody that's pretty close to you. Go to them, or do both. Do the online course through one person, and then go to a personal teacher also. But you need to turn YouTube on to the music. Hank Sr., you know, Johnny Lee Long, or Johnny Lee Hooker, Johnny Lee Hooker, you know, a bunch of the old stuff, the old blues, the old rock, the old country, the old gospel, you know, the old stuff. That's what you want to get started in. Do that. Listen to that. And you can listen to that and try to learn play by ear, get out, play with other people. And then, you know, study your music and your theory. I mean, they're all important. But like I said, ear training and being able to play by ear needs to be in there too, because you don't want to be stuck to the papers. And I mean, I know people that can play beautiful with music. I mean, they're great. But you start playing a song they don't know and they don't have the music to, they just sit there. And I was kind of that way because I was playing my chord charts. And as long as I had the chord chart in front of me, I mean, I was able to play. I listened to the rhythm out of my ear and what the singers was doing, and listened to what the rest of the musicians was doing, and I just added in my own rhythm. You know, to try to match and fill in with the song. And I would try to add in some little riffs, you know, so it didn't just feel like I was sitting there going. Beating that root note. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to do that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing that, but you need to try to flavor it up. You know, not just okay, so, and that's the only thing, but don't get discouraged. Everybody goes through this. I mean, we all do it. Me, you, I, all of us goes through the exact same things. Everybody out there that's ever tried to play, even the professionals and all, go through what we all have been going through as beginners. So, you know, I would say just focus on ear training, focus on music and theory, and focus on when you find a group that'll allow you to play and they understand that you're still somewhat of a beginner and they're allowing you to play anyway. Let them know. Be respectful. Be a good person to hang around with. And they may say, we'll see you next week. You know, that's what you want to hear, okay? But guys, but really, that's really what I had on my heart to say and to get out maybe to somebody that needs to hear it or is struggling in what to do. So I thought I'd post this video. Sorry for the length of it. I know I've had some longer videos and I know that turns people away. So I've been trying to shorten my videos up quite a bit. But anyway, that's enough for this video. God bless you all. Happy 2019. See you. Bye.